All righty, Doug Smith, Duane Plapp, who I affectionately call Papa Plapp. We're back
Ka-ching,
a little
baby.
bit later than usual because of scheduling. And you know what? When business calls, we just have to take it. But here we are, a little bit late, but we're on. And today's topic, Duane, I had something happen yesterday, which I thought was, kind of cool. One, I had a one-to-one yesterday with a guy who I actually went to high school with. We haven't talked in a long time, but he does some work inside of the restaurant industry. He's seen all the stuff I've been doing on LinkedIn. And he said it finally clicked where he goes, man, you know what? Doug works in restaurants. I work in some restaurants. It'd be great to catch up. I'm going to message him. So my LinkedIn visibility led to a one-to-one. We're having a conversation, and there's an opportunity to maybe do some referral business. But while I'm at the restaurant, the general manager had walked by, did a table touch, and I'm like, well, hell, I'm going to talk to the general manager. So that led to another contact. And then there was another restaurant close by. So before I left, I walked over and just introduced myself and, got my foot in the door. So one little thing, LinkedIn, actually led to multiple touch points. So in the world of networking, do you find people really do the work and take advantage of every opportunity, or do you find that that's hard for people to come by? Because I'm sure you have a concept on this.
Well, it's what I call unstructured networking. You got structured networking with Chamber of Commerce's, your B&I chapter, and all the things that your organizations that you're all structured and you actually everybody meets. But the unstructured networking is where you create a lot of visibility. Give you an example. You're standing in line at Panera, okay? And at Panera, you got to stand in line to get your food ordered. Well, are you talking to anybody around you? Do you stand there like a robot? You walk into a restaurant and you're with your wife or your girlfriend or your husband, and you got your blinders on and you simply walk to your table and you eat your dinner. You don't talk to nobody. You don't look around. You have no idea who's in the restaurant looking at you or with you, and you leave. That is ridiculous. Probably one of my best stories of all time is one of my clients was a big time builder, builds $1 million houses. And I was talking about the same thing, structured and unstructured networking. And I got him, the point where he started to walk into restaurants and look around. Well, he says this one night, he says he's in this real expensive restaurant and he decides he got a little Duane on his shoulders, and Duane says, look around, big guy. So he starts to look around the restaurant. He sees a guy that he built a house for about 3 or 4 years ago. So he walks up to him and he says, hey, how you doing? Starts talking to him. He asks him how the house is doing and everything. The guy says, oh, the house is fantastic. I love the house. It's a super house. You did a phenomenal job of building it, and on and on and on. All of a sudden, about 2 tables over, some guy comes up and says, hey, did you build his house? Well, yeah. Well, I was at his house 2 weeks ago. I love that house. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to build a house. Would you be interested in building my house? Well, yeah. Well, next thing you know, he's got a $2 million contract for a house, all because he walked into a restaurant, instead of with blinders on, walked into his table and sat down and left. He happened to look around and see somebody else that he knew that he had built a house for, and that got the conversation started. And next thing you know, he's building a house for the other guy in the restaurant, all because it was unstructured networking. And the reason why is we don't do that. Unstructured networking, if you're talking to people and you're interacting with people, it creates opportunities. And those opportunities, you never know where they're going to go. Just like with Doug, going to the guy's house, going to the guy's business with LinkedIn, meets the general manager, then goes next door, talks to the restaurant. My God, he had 3 contacts. You never know where it's going to go.
In the old days, I guess people would say that's called keeping your radar up, right?
Well, I have a little thing on my PowerPoints. It's called your antennas up. Okay.
Yeah.
Keeping your antennas up. People do not do that. It just amazes me. I was talking to a client 2 weeks ago, and I said to him, hey, you went to the restaurant? Who'd you talk to? Nobody. Who'd you meet? Nobody. Who'd you see? No, nobody. I says, oh, good meal. I says, I guess you're an idiot. You can't do that stuff. You got to get out and about.
Well, I think one of the key words here, though, Duane, is something that you and I hammer on all the time. That takes work. That takes planning. That takes being cognizant of where you are and what you're doing and not being lazy.
Well, guess what the word is? It's called network. It doesn't say net play. net blinders on my face. Okay. It doesn't say net eat. It doesn't say net sit around, do nothing. It doesn't say net procrastinate. It's called net work. Okay. Like Dobie Gillis in the old movies. Okay. In the old show, work, work, work. Okay. Remember, I don't know if you've ever seen Dobie Gillis, but it's all about work. It's net work. It's not net fool around. Get something done. Make it happen.
Yeah, plan. Yeah, planned. Think of it. You know, there's the four stages of competence, if you will, where you're unconscious incompetent. You don't know what you don't know. Then there's conscious incompetent. There's a lot of people, I think, stuck in that level where they know what they don't know, but they don't put the work or the effort to get to the next one where it becomes more automatic. We weren't born with it. It takes work, because if it was so easy, everybody would do it. But if you think when you go out, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm getting ready to walk into a Panera, your favorite Panera out here in Blue Ash. I'm doing a one-to-one. But to be able to walk in and say, okay, I'm doing this one-to-one, but what other opportunities are there? You're telling your brain subconsciously, be alert. You're not just walking in.
Today's Friday. I'll guarantee you, if you walk into Panera and there was more than 5 or 10 people in there, you're going to know somebody besides the person you're going to meet. And so if you walk in there, you look around, I was never in Panera that I didn't know at least 10 people in the place. And so I would walk in, I'd look around who's there. I'd walk around, shake hands with everybody that I already knew, talk to people. And it's so funny is this. When you're doing that, the person you're talking to says hi to you. There was somebody you don't know. So now they're introducing you to the person you don't know. So now you just met one more person. Okay. Yeah. It's unbelievable. But the thing is, you know, I'm going to do something right. I'm going to do a little visual prompt right here. Roll your sleeves up and get to work. Okay. That's the name of the game.
Got it. Well, you referenced that. How many times were you in this Blue Ash Panera and I walked in and you're by the door and we're waving to each other as we're heading in, or it's like, oh, here we go again. Or you would walk by. One thing that, again, I think a lot of people would not take what you do, but you would walk by and stop and go, hey, how are you doing? And basically get that introduction. And a lot of people wouldn't do that. I knew what you were doing, but most people wouldn't. And it's like, the guy knows what he's doing. There's a plan behind it, but because you know how to do it and it becomes second nature to you, that's what people have to understand. This just isn't natural per se. We're not born with it. You got to plan it and you got to work it. Over time, it becomes second nature.
Well, here's the homework for everybody on the call today. You walk around and you walk into any place, you go anywhere, you say, I got a little Duane on my shoulder, and Duane says I need to be doing something to create that opportunity and get my antennas up. So from now on, everybody on the call, you got a little Duane on your shoulder, so make it happen, baby.
All right, well, I'm going to put my little Duane on my shoulder and roll up my sleeves and head in and do this one-to-one, because then I got a presentation at 2 o'clock, so I got to make sure that I'm home in time. So good info, work it, think about it, make the most of every opportunity when you're out and about. And sir, you and Mama Plapp have a good weekend, and we will discuss things again next Friday at our usual time.
Cha-ching, baby. Have a great day and great weekend.
You too, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.